I have been asked by several people about the NetJets Latitude crash to make a video, okay? Let me say this first off the bat. NetJets, quarter shares, fly exclusive, Solaris, the majority of these companies are top-notch. Top-notch maintenance. No expenses spared. Top-notch pilots. The captains go to flight safety every 6 months. The first officers go to flight safety once a year. It's top-notch training. The mechanics spare no expenses. These companies are making $3,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 an hour. Let's say you're in Memphis and you want to go to LA. You call a broker. The broker looks on the big screen on the computer. He sees 10,000 jets all over America. Who's the closest to Memphis? Maybe there's 3 in Memphis. There's two operators in Memphis. So he's gonna call them first. If they're busy, they can't do it, he's gonna get the closest one. If there's a NetJet sitting in Nashville and there's a fly exclusive jet sitting in Little Rock, he's gonna call them. Can you do a trip from Memphis to LA? Yes or no? Well, yeah, we can. Let's figure it. Okay, this guy, he says 7,500. This guy, he says 6,500. He says, okay, let me call the guy back. He calls the guy back. He says the guy can do it for 6,500. He can be there in 2 hours. That's the way this works. The brokers are selling the flights. Now, you can call Fly Exclusive and you can say, I got $400,000. I want to buy $400,000 a time. A lot of people do that. A lot of rich people do that. Their maintenance is top-notch. Their pilots are top-notch. Now, pilots are like this. Mechanics are like this. First officers and captains are like this. Some of them, I don't know how to do the heart. Some of them are nice. Some of these captains are nice. They teach you. They let you fly. They're nice to you. They help you. They mentor you. Some of these captains, it's flaps up, shut up, don't touch anything. Don't speak, don't touch, don't do nothing. They treat you like a dog. That's the way it is. Some of these captains are great. Some of them, you don't even want to be near them. They're called door kickers. A door kicker is when you land, you go to the hotel and you take your chair and you put it up under the doorknob and you lock yourself in there. You don't want to go to lunch. You don't want to have a beer with them. You don't want to go play golf with them. You do not want to see that SOB. That's the truth. Some of them are wonderful, wonderful. You meet for dinner, they help you, they teach you this. But the pilots are top-notch pilots. The maintenance is top-notch. They have auditors that come in there and audit them. That's when you say, we've got the Argus certification and this certification. That's no joke. They come and audit those people. Now, airplanes do not crash airplanes. Pilots and mechanics crash airplanes, okay? Let me say that again. Airplanes do not crash airplanes. Guns do not shoot people. People shoot people, okay? I had the luxury. We went to Kansas City to Cessnas to pick up an airplane. While we were there, there's airplanes sitting out there on the ramp. I can talk myself into any airplane. That's another story. We were in Toronto one time, and there was an Airbus A380 and a Boeing 787 sitting across the ramp. I was in my uniform. I told the guy on the little cart, look, I'm in my uniform. Drive me over there. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna take a selfie with the 787. I'm gonna take a selfie with the Airbus A380. And he did it, and I got a selfie. But that's another story. We were at Cessna, and the sales lady was there. They treated us nice. At Cessna, they treat you nice. I said, I want to go, can we go inside those new airplanes? She goes, yeah. I sat inside of a new Latitude. I was shocked. There's no buttons. I mean, there's some buttons, but it ain't like some of these old airplanes, they look like the space shuttle. Rows and rows of switches and buttons. The new Latitude had like 4 computer screens and very little buttons because it's so automated. It's so up to date. It is impossible to crash the plane unless you run it out of gas or you put bad gas in it in Mexico. Okay? Planes do not crash planes. Pilots crash planes and mechanics crash planes. If you went to Cessna and you brought a brand new Latitude and you kept it in Wichita, and every time you landed, you said, I want the mechanics to check that plane. I want you to do progressive maintenance and annuals and inspections on that plane. That plane would never crash. And if you went to flight safety and you said, I want the top pilot in the United States, the top 2 on a Latitude, captains, I don't want no first officers, and you only flew with those 2, and you said, look guys, I want y'all to find a house in Wichita, Kansas. I may fly 2 times this week. I may not fly at all next month. Next month, I might fly every day for 10 days. I'm going to pay both of y'all good money with good benefits. And you kept them, plane would never crash. The plane is uncrashable. If you got 2 serious older pilots with a family and kids that are serious pilots, they're not goofballs, the plane's never going to crash. The chances of that plane crashing is 99.9%. Planes don't crash planes. Pilots and mechanics crash the plane. Now, the Latitude is uncrashable. You can't crash it. Glenn, why did it crash? If you're flying that plane and you turn everything off and you just sit there like that, it's going to crash. If you fill it up with gas and you put it on autopilot and you just say go, about 5 hours it's going to run out of gas, it's going to crash. If you go to Mexico and you put bad gas with water and trash in it, you might crash. Now what happens is you get a light on the dash, fuel filter bypass, beep, 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 master caution, okay? Land the plane and let the mechanics deal with it. Drain the tanks, do what you got to do, okay? I don't know if that's what happened. I don't know. But I know that if you're at 43,000 feet and you request a quick descent down to the runway, something's wrong. Now, by law, if you say, we got a situation here, we need to get to the closest airport, they're going to come back and, 154 Citation Latitude, are you declaring emergency? No. If you say, yes, we are declaring an emergency, then you got to fill out a lot of paperwork. And if you're out of gas, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, if you're like, man, we're almost out of gas. We didn't figure this right. We're not going to make it to Austin. We're going to have to go, I don't know where they went to Laredo. I don't know. I think they were going to Laredo. They had to stop at Austin. They said, we're going to have to get down and land this plane, put some gas in it. Well, don't say nothing. We can do it. You know, we circled down. We're a little bit short. We almost made it. But if you say Mayday, 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 bingo fuel. Bingo fuel means we ain't got no more fuel. We got enough to make it to the airport and land. If you're coming into JFK and it's a snowstorm or a rainstorm and you say bingo fuel, they're going to put you in the front of the line. But when you land, you're going to have to explain that. You're not in trouble, but you're going to have to explain it. But if you're flying from Mexico to Texas and you run out of gas, you're going to have to explain it. If you see you're running out of gas, you say, look, we ain't going to make it there. We're going to have to land and put some gas in this plane. And you circle down and land and you're like, oh my God, we made it. Put some gas in this plane. Then you're okay. This is speculation. I don't know if this is what happened. There wasn't much fire at the crash site. I think they either ran out of gas or they got some bad gas. If you got some bad gas, if your tank is showing 2,000 pounds aside and your fuel bypass filter comes on, you go land that plane. And you tell the controllers, we're not declaring emergency. We've got a situation, fuel bypass on the fuel system. We need to land. There's no paperwork for that. They're going to help you get down and land. If you say, Mayday, 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 we need to land, then you got to do paperwork, you know. If it's a fuel filter bypass, that's not your problem, and you still got 1,000, 2,000 pounds of fuel on the plane, it's not your problem. If you got 350 pounds of fuel aside, that's not usable fuel. When you fuel that plane, one pilot is, not by law, but by speculations, by specifications of the company's manual, one pilot is supposed to stay there and monitor that. Look at the fuel truck. How much are they putting in? How much was in there before? Look, the Latitude, it automatically calculates it. A lot of planes, you have to manually put it in there. The Latitude is uncrashable. It's going to calculate that fuel for you. You can go places and pay for fuel and go out there and take off. They didn't put the fuel in. I know NetJets, one pilot is responsible to stand there and watch them put the fuel in. I'm not saying they didn't put the fuel in, but he is supposed to go in there, turn on the battery, turn on the master switch, look at the fuel indicators, calculate it. Calculate what it's going to take to go from point A to point B, plus reserves. Is it day VFR? Is it night VFR? Is it hard IFR at my destination? If it's day VFR, you just got to go there and have 30 minutes extra fuel. If it's night VFR, go there and have extra 45 minutes of fuel. If it's bad weather, you got to be able to go there, go to your alternate, hold and still have 45 minutes of fuel, which is a lot more fuel. It was clear as far as I saw. But now we're getting into a lot of technical stuff. NetJets, top of the line pilots, top of the line maintenance. Before you start the engines, the captain looks at the co-pilot. They got everything on. Verify the fuel, 5,000 pounds. Verify the flight plan. We need 3,000 pounds of fuel. Do you concur? Yes, I concur. They have to agree upon that. They have to look at the FMS and agree upon the route. Okay? I don't know that they ran out of fuel. But if you got any kind of problems in that airplane and you're coming down for an airport, if you're not at fault, you're going to tell that controller, we got a trim tab run away. We got a stuck aileron. One of our gears down. We got a fuel filter bypass on both engines. You're going to tell them that. When you tell them that, they're going to give you super treatment. Now, if you're trying to cover your ass and you don't say nothing and you go from 43,000 foot and you run out of gas or the engines quit 3 miles from the runway, I don't know about that one. You know, it'd been better to get over the airport and circle. It's better to just confess, we made a mistake. We got to stop and get fuel. You got to get yelled at by the chief pilot. Get yelled at. He's going to yell at you anyway. He's going to call you into office every month or two and yell at you for something. Get in line. You got a wife and a girlfriend. You're used to getting yelled at. just say, yes, sir, okay, we made a mistake. You would not believe the mistakes I saw flying 135. I don't even want to get into it. The maintenance at NetJets is top notch. The pilots are top notch. The fuel, they might have got some bad fuel in Mexico. Now, a lot of companies won't even go into Mexico. A lot of places you go into Mexico, you have to hire a private security company to stand by the plane all night long. They will take the tires, they will take the landing gear, they will take the PDOT probe, they will take things off the plane. And when you go out there the next morning to leave, they'll say, oh no, it looks like you cannot go because you do not have your front tire. We have a front tire, but it would be 10,000 pesos. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to be funny. A lot of companies will not even fly into Mexico nowadays. So, top-notch pilots, top-notch training, top-notch maintenance. There is a person with all of these companies that has a staff of people. All they do is deal with the fuel. Is the fuel price right? Is the amount right? It is very regulated and they keep up with it. So in my opinion, I don't know. If you got an emergency, you're going to tell the controller. If you say Mayday, 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 they're going to give you everything you want. But you're going to have to explain it. If you're trying to cover your butt because you're out of fuel and you're trying to make it to the airport, you think you're at 43,000 feet, you can make it, and all of a sudden, beep, the fuel low level flight comes on and the fuel pumps come on. You're like, look, we got to get down and get some fuel in this plane. And you say, we think we can make it? Yeah, we can make it. We get down and we run out. It's the end of your career. I don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. This is speculation, what I'm telling you. But have I been wrong yet? I'm not throwing the pilots or the maintenance or anybody under the bus, but this is kind of the situation. Update coming. Please like and subscribe my channel.